There's more to school than just the classroom. Here's what it's like for American kids when they're not learning in the classroom. Hi there, everyone. I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English, where we help you upgrade your English with stories about current events and trending topics. This summer, we're talking about daily life in the USA. Last Thursday, we talked about school. We talked about what kids learn in school. But there's more to school than just learning. There is. What else is there besides learning? There's a lot. There are meals, clubs, activities, sports, all kinds of stuff. That's today's topic. And in the second half of the lesson, I'll give you a very, very specific way of using the phrasal verb try out. And if you think you know it, just listen. I bet the way I'm going to show you today is different from what you're thinking. That's in the second half of the lesson after our main topic. This is lesson number 698. So that means JR has uploaded the full lesson and all the associated learning resources to plainenglish.com/698. Today, we're talking about the typical school experience outside the classroom. The big social moments of the day are lunch and recess. So let's start there. The school day goes from about 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, so everyone has a scheduled time for lunch. Most schools have a cafeteria that serves hot meals. Parents can send kids with cash to pay for a hot lunch each day. Some schools have electronic accounts. But not all students buy lunch at school. A lot of parents send their kids to school with a packed lunch from home. Most states require that schools have a period called recess. This is a short period, usually 20 minutes or half an hour, for outdoor recreation or playtime. Young kids go out on the playground or in the sports fields. Older kids can do the same, or they can stay inside, maybe go to the school library. Now, here's one thing everyone asks about. Do schools in America really have lockers? Yes. The answer is yes. It really and truly is like what you see on TV shows and in the movies. The hallways of the schools are lined with metal lockers. The lockers are tall and skinny. This is a place to store books, gym clothes, lunches, notebooks, school projects, things like that, when you're not using them. All students are assigned a locker at the beginning of the school year, and they keep the same locker for the whole year. The lockers usually have a combination lock. Now, the first time most of us ever learned to open a spinning combination lock was when we got to middle school and got our first lockers. The movies exaggerate the amount of time kids spend at their lockers. You really only have a few minutes between classes and then a little time at lunch or after school. But yes, most schools do have metal lockers for students. The school experience continues even after the last class ends. When the last period ends, most students on most days will get on the school bus to go home. But schools offer a variety of after-school activities, and many students stay at school late for these activities. The selection is different in every place, but here are some of the common activities. Almost every school has a band. Students can play the trumpet, the trombone, the drums, the clarinet, and other instruments. The band practices after school and performs at sports games and at special concerts. A lot of schools have a school newspaper, so journalists in training stay after school once or twice a week to work on stories and put the newspaper together. Theater is popular. Many schools put on plays and musicals, so the students involved in the production meet after school to rehearse and prepare the set and costumes. There are clubs associated with art, dance, music, and other interests. Many schools have clubs that allow students to explore their academic interests in a less formal way. These days, there are computer coding clubs, robotics clubs, debate clubs, engineering clubs, things like that. The yearbook is an American school tradition. This is a printed book offered for sale at the end of the school year. Yearbooks have individual formal portraits of each student, and then the other pages are filled with memories of the school year. Each club usually gets a page or two. Sports teams get a few pages. There's usually a section about the teachers, the administrators, things like that. And you might have guessed a student group produces the yearbook. Teachers usually sponsor after-school clubs and activities. That means the teachers stay at school late to supervise and coach the individual clubs. These aren't usually an everyday experience. Clubs meet once or twice a week, some for the full year, some for only part of the year. Sports teams meet after school. Sports are seasonal, with football in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball, and softball in the spring. There are many other sports options too: field hockey, volleyball, tennis, track and field, and soccer. A lot of schools offer swimming. If there isn't a pool at the school, the swim team trains at a local YMCA or at a school in a neighboring town. Sports can fall into two categories. Club or recreational sports are just for fun. And then varsity sports are more competitive. Club sports are open to everyone, and the school usually forms teams out of the people who sign up. It's all low pressure and just for fun and exercise. But competitive sports are different. High schools and middle schools have teams that compete against other schools in the area. To play competitive sports, students have to try out and be accepted to the team. They wear the school's team uniform. They play in the name of the school and the town, and they compete against other schools in the area. Students who stay after school usually have to arrange their own transportation home. They have to get picked up by parents of friends, whatnot. Some towns offer a late run of the school bus a few hours after school ends. What else should you know? Most schools have a guidance counselor. A guidance counselor is a person whose job is to help and give advice to students to help make their school experience better. Guidance counselors can help students work out interpersonal problems with others. If students are having problems at home, they can talk to the counselor about that. Counselors can help students make a study routine, prepare college applications, select elective classes, things like that. Seeing a guidance counselor is not usually mandatory, but the counselor is a non-teacher whose job is to help make the school experience better for students. So now you know what it's like. Between last Thursday and today, you have a pretty good idea of what it's like to go to school in the United States. What do you think? Is it better or worse than where you are? Harder, easier, more interesting? I didn't do a lot of after-school activities. These are not required. Some kids do a lot, some don't do anything at all. I did the school newspaper. I did the yearbook a couple of times. I was in one play. I was terrible. And I created a website. It's true. That's where it all began. I was part of a community service club, and we taught senior citizens in our town how to use a computer. And part of the club project was to create a website. I don't remember what I put on it, but I remember the background colors were dark and the text was bright yellow. Something tells me that wouldn't pass muster with Google's accessibility guidelines today. This is a very school-related term for you, try out. Now, there are other ways to use try out, but today I'm going to show you a very specific way to use it. This is almost always used with young people in a school environment. I suppose maybe you can use it later in life, but this is like 99% of the time it's used in a school environment, but not in the classroom. It's used with theater and sports. Some activities at a school are not open to everyone. There's a limited number of spots. If the school play is Shakespeare's Othello, only one person can be Othello. Only one person can be Desdemona. How do we figure out who's going to be in the school play? All the students interested in drama, in acting in the play, they try out for the play. They audition for the play. They go before the drama teacher or a committee. They read some lines. They act it out. They're trying out for the play. They want to be selected. Someone might try out to be Othello. Othello is the hero of the play. He's well respected, but only one person can get it. So you might have 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 people try out, but only one person gets the role. What else can you try out for? Sports teams. Now, this is the most common use of try out. You try out for the team. Here's how sports work in schools in the United States. There are club sports. Club sports are just for fun, for recreation. Anyone can play. Nobody. I think I'm safe in saying nobody gets turned away. Everyone who wants to play club volleyball gets to play. If there are too many people, they just make more teams. It's all about having fun and getting exercise. Varsity sports are different. This is the big time. Every school has just one varsity team for each sport. One team represents the town. There are usually varsity football, soccer, baseball, softball, and basketball teams. The varsity team plays against other schools in the area. And as you can imagine, they don't let just anyone on the team. There are a limited number of spots. Students have to try out. They have to compete for one of the limited spots on the roster. Where and how do you try out for a sports team? You go to something called, can you guess? Tryouts. The tryouts are an open invitation, usually a week at the beginning of the season. Anyone can come and try out for the team. It's a week full of exercises and drills. The coaches watch, and at the end of the week, they select the players who will make the team. So in these cases, you're competing for a position. And if you want to say what you're competing for, you can say try out for. So you're trying out for the football team, trying out for the varsity volleyball team, trying out for the school play, trying out for the spring musical. And like I said, it's almost always with sports or drama, and almost always at school. Yeah, I was not on any varsity teams. I acted in one play, but I didn't have to try out. The director was desperate for anyone to participate, and I reluctantly agreed. All right, that's all for today. Now remember, there are other ways of using tryout. This was just one very specific definition. Maybe in the future, we'll talk about other ways to use it. This was lesson number 698, so that means the full lesson is available online at plainenglish.com/698. That includes the transcript, quizzes, practice exercises, translations, fast and slow audio, everything related to this topic is at plainenglish.com/698. We'll be back on Thursday with a new topic. See you then. Hi there. Did you know we're about to release our 700th episode? That's amazing, right? And we've got a big celebration planned, and I'd like for you to be a part of it. During the week of August 12th, 2024, we are opening the doors to the full Plain English Plus membership totally free. Our membership has been around for several years, and we've never done anything like this. But to celebrate episode number 700, I want to invite you to take a peek into the Plus membership from August 12th to August 18th, a full week. To get access, you do need a free account at plainenglish.com. So if you're not yet a free member, sign up now at plainenglish.com. No credit card required. If you do have a free account, practice signing in now so you have your login details ready. Then, on August 12th, just log in like you normally would, and our whole premium membership will be open to you. And that includes several chances to meet JR and me on Zoom. Make plans to join us the week of August 12th, 2024. I hope to see you then.